guys, this is Eric, Perry Hill Farms. Give you a little quick update this morning. Me and my daughter-in-law, Lauren, we got out in the garden this morning. Done picked and shelled a dishpan full of snap beans. Right now, heading out here on the porch. Let me show you this right. There's one, two, three, four dishpanfuls of broccoli. Now I'm fixing to get busy and cut all the heads off of it. You know, like you'd want to eat. Let me show you. All these, that'll focus. All the little broccoli heads off of it. And then I'm going to wash them. Clean them up, soak them in a little salt water. Make sure there's no undesirables in there. You know, a worm or a bug or something like that. But anytime you want to make sure that your produce doesn't have any undesirables on it, you can always soak it in some salt water. And those undesirables, they don't like that salt water. So anyway, I'm gonna get busy, and when I get through with the broccoli, I'll come back and show you the results. And probably a little later on, I'm gonna go out there in the garden and dig some potatoes and snap beans right there, at least some of them, and some potatoes, and we're gonna cook them together tonight and bake some chicken and enjoy the fruits for our labor. So anyway, I'll get back with you in a little bit, get all this broccoli washed and cleaned and get it bagged up, and I'll show you how many I got. Hey guys, I'm back after a couple of hours of washing, drying, and salting. I put a little salt on my broccoli in case there was any undesirables in there. But this is there at Perry Hill Farms. It's been a Saturday morning, and it's almost lunchtime. But me and my daughter-in-law, like I told you earlier, she snapped them, but me and her picked about a half a 5-gallon bucket of snap beans. Then I went and cut the broccoli, and like I said, for the last 2 or 3 hours, I've been washing and cleaning up that broccoli. I cut it all down to just the florets. And as you can see right there, I had 12-gallon Ziploc bags stuffed full of florets broccoli. And that'll make many meals for our families. I just wash it and dry it, like I said. Bag it up in Ziplocs, freezer bags. And you hadn't got to cook it all at one time. You can break it apart and use what you need to make a meal. If you got a bunch of people coming, you can get out 2 bags. But that, like I say, that'll make a lot of meals for us. That's just one of our brassicas that we harvested this year, our broccoli. And like I say, we got about 6 more hills in the raised beds. And that'll just be for salads and eating fresh stuff. But I just asked y'all to stay tuned. I'm going to be harvesting more stuff. Probably the next thing on the agenda will be either the onions or the potatoes. The onions didn't do that well because they went through that bad freeze we had back in the winter. And but now the potatoes, they come out of it. They look great, and I really believe that we're going to have a bumper potato crop this year. And I'm very thankful for that. me and my family. We eat a lot of our stuff last year we put up. So we're all the way back around now to canning season. And get up off that couch. Greg said over there, Hall's Tools. I always like to give him a little plug. But get up off that couch and get out there and get dirty. Get after it. And so it's very important. You try to get out there and grow some food for you and your family. Saturday after dinner, just a little bit. Got through with that broccoli and snap beans. It's fixing to start raining. It's already starting. Just wanted to show you. Rode out there to the garden. Dug those up. Washed them off real good. First mess of taters this year. Today is April the 29th, I think. Just so you know. We planted them right around Valentine's Day, February, March, April. About 2 months old. And there's plenty of good sized taters out there on them. Like I said, you need to get out and grow you some stuff. If you don't, you're going to be missing out. Hey guys, it's Eric here with Perry Hill Farms. I believe it was Monday afternoon. My wife and my daughter-in-law and my grandson, while we were out, me and my son were plowing and hoeing the peas and the corn. And but anyway, appreciate you joining us today. I really wanted to try to pay attention this year and video our food preps and what we're doing about growing and providing food for our family. And so this is some of the first. I made a video not too long ago putting up some broccoli and snap beans, and but today, well, Monday, I believe it was, or Tuesday. It's Tuesday afternoon. My wife and my daughter-in-law and my grandson, they got out there. They picked and snapped about a 5-gallon bucket and a half of snap beans. I got some in the sink right there. I got some right there in the dish pan. And I'm beginning to jar them up. I got the All-American canner. I can't say enough good things about. Warming the water up. I got me another pot over here full of water. And for those of you who've never canned any green beans, you put a teaspoon of salt in each quart jar. You pack them pretty tight as you can get them in there. And that's because they're going to shrink some when you can them. In other words, if you just fill the jar up and don't tap it down and pack them, you're going to wind up with about a half a jar of green beans when you get them canned. But anyway, teaspoon of salt. And that's all I do. Put the jar lids and tops on them. I'll put them in the canner. And I believe it's 20 minutes or 25 minutes on quarts. I'll look that up when I come back in a few minutes. I'll have that for you. But I'm just trying to get going. Just got home from work. Got home a little early today, so I should be able to get right on top of these green beans. I'll let you know how many we wound up with. We're also going to cook some for supper tonight. It's Aunt Bev's birthday, and we're going to have her over, grill some chicken and pork chops. And I went out there a while ago, and I'll show you these. Let me walk right out here on the porch and show you. But I just went out there to the garden and dug those new potatoes. I think those pretty. That's a 5-gallon, it's probably a 3-gallon bucket. We dug 3 potato plants. It's probably 5 or 6 pounds there. And I'm gonna make some homemade mashed potatoes. I'm gonna cook a pot of those green beans while I'm canning today. And like I said, I'll let you know how many quarts of green beans we get. And when I get back with you, I'll show you taking some out the canner. Stay tuned. Okay guys, this is Eric. I'm back with you. Just wanted to show you the results of the snap beans a while ago. And around here where you can see, I just took the other 7 quarts out. I had 14 quarts of snap beans. Nice. That was just one picking. And had enough for, I might have fogged y'all up there. Had enough for supper too. Just wanted to show you. Got off a little early one afternoon and come home and got 14 quarts of snap beans put up. And hey guys, I'm trying my best to remember to take you guys along. Sometimes we get busy and forget. But as you can see right here, I've almost cut up a bowl of squash. I like just a few more finishing up. And I would like to show you how I do this. I can't take any credit for it though. I learned it from old Alabama gardener, who's no longer with us now, but I enjoyed watching him. I think it was Mr. Charles. And anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to cut the ends off our squash like that. And then I'll take the squash, I'll quarter it. Like this. And I simply take my knife and take the seeds out, most of them, to where you're just left with a piece of squash. And then I just cut that up into pieces, around about half the size of my thumb. And the reason being is, I'm not going to can these or water bath them. I'll make a simple brine and solution. And I'll show you after I get through. But what it is, I believe it's 2 cups of water, maybe 3. I'll check. 2 or 3 cups of water. I really think you'll be all right either way. I usually double or triple my recipe, depending on how much. I probably have enough here that I need to triple it. Now, what the apple cider vinegar does is it causes your vegetable to set. You say, what does that mean? Well, when it sets, it won't get any softer. That's what that means. In other words, when you take your okra out, I usually drain mine about twice, run some water over it, maybe 3 times. And then I dump it into a Ziploc bag with a cup of cornmeal and a cup of flour. And I simply coat my okra or my squash and fry it. And what that vinegar does, it makes it set. And therefore, when you coat your squash or your okra and you fry it, it will stay crispy. It won't be soggy. And so that's the whole purpose of having I like good crispy okra or squash when I fry them, instead of them being soggy and greasy like grandma's used to be. But hers was good too, but anyway, they were a little greasy, but and maybe they just hadn't figured that out yet or what. But anyway, I'll take you along. I'm going to be putting up these squash. And when I get done with them, I'll come back and show you the finished product. But I wanted to bring you along. We put up about 35 to 40 quarts, roughly, of snap beans. Squash is starting to come in. I'll be putting up squash. This weekend, we're going to dig our potatoes. I'll be canning some potatoes, be showing you that also. But anyway, stay with us. I'll be back to show you the finished product. Okay, guys, this is Eric, Perry Hill Farms. I'm back with you just a minute. I went back and rechecked to make sure on my amounts on this brine. It's 4 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar, 4 tablespoons, 3/4 of a tablespoon of canning salt, and 3.5 cups of water. And that's the exact measure. And I 4 times this recipe because I think I need enough liquid probably to do about 7 quarts of squash. So anyway, I use this measuring cup right here because it's got a spout on it to pour with. I dip it down in the hot boiling brine. Fill my jar all the way. You can fill it all the way to the top because remember, we're not water bathing or pressure canning. We're just putting it in a brine, and that's it. That's the reason I like this recipe. It works good. I've done it for the past 4 years at least, maybe 5. We're going to put our vegetable in the boiling water, bring it up for 8 minutes, scoop it out into your hot jars, and I'll show you that in just a minute. Then fill it, bring your water back, your brine back up to a boil. Fill your jar completely full of that boiling brine. Put the lid on it, wipe your top. Always, always, always. Wipe your top. Make sure there's nothing on it. Put your ring and your lid on it, or your lid and your ring. Tighten it down firm, and you're through with it. That's it. That's all there are to it. And I love this. It's very simple, very easy, very quick. Doesn't take long to do. And you got your stuff preserved. And I've opened some up 3 years old. Drain the water off. Cup of cornmeal, cup of flour. Season it. Shake it up. Either squash or okra. Fry it. It's just as crispy and good. Delicious. But it's just a very simple, easy way to do your squash or your okra. And like I said, I want to give Mr. Charles the credit because he's the one I first seen do it. Old Alabama gardener. And I'm right here in Alabama, South Alabama. He was about mid to North Alabama, I think. And but listen, we got to carry on some of these traditions. Teach the younger people how to preserve their food. And I appreciate you watching. Like I said, when I come back, when I get through with my canning, I'll show you how many jars I had, and I'll show it to you in the jar. And I'll be back with you in a little bit. Okay. All right, guys, I'm back with you. I was just going to show you a jar or two. See, I got my squash in my jar. As it cools, your squash will settle down in there. I'm going to take some of this liquid. Fill it up. All the way to, just about all the way to the top. And you hear the family coming in. They let you take and clean off your jar real good. Put your lid on it. Tighten it down real good. To get something to hold it with because it's hot. Tighten it down real good, and I'll just keep doing that till I get all my squash done. Okay, guys, this is Eric back with Perry Hill Farms. Let me pick it up where I can talk to you. I just wanted to show you. I just got through with the squash, and you see some green in there. That's some zucchini mixed with it. But that silver pan right there yielded me 6 quarts of squash. Remember, it's not water bath or it's not pressure canned. I usually drain that liquid off, run some water over it about twice, drain that off, put it out on a paper towel, Let it be good and dry for the most part. 1 cup of flour, 1 cup of cornmeal. Dump it in there. Shake it up. Season your cornmeal. Salt, pepper, seasoned salt, whatever you like. Fry it. It should turn out crispy and delicious. The easiest way I know to put up squash and okra. You know, I just got home a little early from work today. Not too early, but a little. And squash. I had picked the squash over about the last 5 days my wife and them had. And it was time to do something with it. So this is the first batch I've had an opportunity to put up. Well, really, it's the first batch. And so didn't want to waste any. Didn't waste any. And got them canned and ready for the old shelf in there. We're going to start filling that shelf back up. We've eaten through a lot of it. I encourage you to do the same thing. Greg over at Hall's Tools says get out there, get your hands dirty. Get to work, fill up your pantry. You're going to need it this year, I promise. Trying to keep you up to date with all the stuff I've been trying to process and can and put up. And as you can see, or as I'll show you, we got tomatoes on the agenda. And I'm cutting these up, washing them, cutting them up, putting them in my roaster. Almost got a gallon of cherry tomatoes there. And some onions, some peppers. But right now, today, I am currently cutting these tomatoes up and trying to get them canned and in some jars. Probably gonna make pasta sauce with these first ones, but you can do them multiple ways. Like I said, it's one of the easiest things in the world to do. All I'll do is put these in this roaster, wash them, cut them up. I take the stem ends off and the core ends off. I can show you that right here. Take a nice tomato like this, and I got this dandy little tool. I think I paid $1 for it somewhere, and it'll take the core right out without wasting much of the tomato. And I take the other end off. I don't know if you can see that or not, but I took both ends off like that. Leave the skin on it, and all I'll do then is just take my knife and quarter it or half it, however what you want to do. I'll put them in the roaster, put them on low, about 200 degrees, 175, 80, 200 degrees, something like that, for about a day or two. Let some of the water cook out of them, let it thicken up some, and then you can add your pasta mix, sauce, ingredients if you want to, or you can do multiple things with them. You can just cook them down like that. I take my stick blender, mulch them up, skins and all, and then you can just jar them and water bath them for 10 minutes, and they're shelf stable. You know, tomatoes are high in acidity, and so therefore you don't have to pressure can them, just water bath them. But it's something very easy to do. You can be doing other stuff while you do this, but I'll get this roaster full, or hopefully almost full, with what I got in the sink in this bucket, and let it cook down for about 2 days. Then I'll jar it up and water bath it for about 10 minutes. It's ready to go on the shelf. Very easy, very simple. You can make pasta sauce, pizza sauce. I don't know how much difference there is in all those. When I'm eating pizza or spaghetti, I can't tell that much difference. Pretty much if it's got thyme, oregano, and basil in it, it's probably can be any of the above. But anyway, just want to bring y'all along and show you, You know, so far, I think I told you we put up about 35 to 40 quarts of snap beans. So far, I have canned 12 quarts of squash for frying or stewing or casseroles, whatever you want to make with them. And today, I'm starting on tomatoes, and I hadn't got to the potatoes yet. But as we showed you on a previous video, they're out in the barn, they're drying and all, and I'm not in a super big hurry to get to them, other than the very small ones. I get them, and I'll start canning those, getting them into some jars as soon as I can get them in it. But it's a busy time of the year when your vegetables come rolling in. When they get ready, they're ready. And if you want to maximize your ability to can and save food, you need to put them up when they're ready. You know, you can't just lay them around for a few weeks, and because they'll ruin. And so when your stuff gets ready, you need to get it in some jars and get it put up. Anyway, we appreciate y'all watching today, though. God bless you. Tune in again soon. We'll be putting up some more stuff. Remember what I always say, and I really do mean it. I really, truly believe it. A simple life is a much more enjoyable life. You know, I just